doing it. Fat Tuesday, we got a pastry, you got fun foods coming up. Jambalaya, thank you, Ellen Lewis.
Hey, everybody. So I am cooking jambalaya tonight. It is our Fat Tuesday tradition to have our jambalaya. And this jambalaya almost can kind of be like a gumbo, honestly. If I added a little bit more liquid, made it a little bit more soupy, it would be a gumbo. So in my jambalaya, I use chicken, sausage, and you can put shrimp in there. I'm allergic to shellfish, so no shrimp for me. However, lots of good things that you can do. So I am going to tilt this down just so you can see. So I've already browned the sausage, and you can just use, and so see it's seasoned the pan. Yum. Okay. The thing that's so great about the way it seasons the pan is though all those amazing flavors are going to go into our jambalaya, right? And so I just use like a kielbasa sausage. If you like the hot stuff, use like andouille or something like that. I don't like really spicy hot things. And we do use a Cajun seasoning, but I can control the heat that goes in through the Cajun seasoning. And so I like that. All right, so I already have that going. So now what I need to do is I need to get my peppers and onion in there and get them to start going. All right, so right here we have our chopper, which I absolutely love. And you will love how quick this chops everything, because I used to chop all this by hand and it took me a long time to make this recipe. I used to have to brown the chicken and brown the sausage and chop all the vegetables by hand. It was a very prep heavy meal, right? It's really great once it's all in the pot and then it just kind of simmers, and that's awesome. But I have to do all that prep work. And so even after I started Tupperware, I didn't quite I don't know, my mind just didn't go to, oh, I could use my new chopper. Oh, I could use my new whatever. And so I still continue to do it that way until one time when I was running really, really behind for dinner. And I was like, you know what? I am putting all my stuff into place and I'm going to be using all my stuff. And so I sure did. I put everything in the chopper, chopped it up, and I left it kind of chunky. Sometimes you can make it nice and fine too. So this is a little bit more fine than usual, but you can leave it really chunky too, because you kind of control the chop a bit. And then I took my chicken. And so what I did tonight, so normally I steam my chicken because I can steam my chicken and brown my sausage at the same time. But today I forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer. So it was super frozen. So I knew it was going to take a long time for it to steam. So I put it in my pressure cooker. And the thing that's so great about a pressure cooker is the amount of time it takes to cook recipes that a lot of times take a lot longer, right? So think about a slow cooker recipe. You put it in here, you can do it in about 20 to 30 minutes versus 5 to 6 hours on high in a slow cooker. So that's the thing that I love about that. So all I did was just I put my chicken breasts in there. They were frozen solid. And then I put some chicken broth on top. You can even put water because we're not using the broth. We just need something in there to keep the chicken from drying out too terribly bad. And then I put this right into the microwave and just let it cook. I think it took, I think I put it in for 30 minutes just because the chicken was like rock solid. And so, but it saves you so much time, even if you're using it for one of your prep steps versus actually using it to put a casserole or something like that in there. Now, my other favorite dish in here is like mac and cheese, right? Because I need gluten-free and sometimes we even need dairy-free in our house. And so I can tweak the recipes and make the creamiest, most wonderful mac and cheese for my family, and everybody's able to eat it. So love, love, love the pressure cooker, all right? So, but I am going to throw these peppers and see, now here's a secret. So if you want to have sort of a coarser chop on your things, cut them into smaller pieces. If I would have left these in like, maybe I just halved the pepper, I can definitely do that in this chopper. But as I'm pulling the cord, there are going to be some bigger pieces that are stuck, and then I eventually get to them. So I end up making the whole thing finer. But if I go ahead and chunk it up a little bit more, I can just pull the cord a couple times and get a nice rough chop on it. All right. So here's the cord, and that's the engine. That's how everything moves, right? So there are the blades. And so let me pull this down. Ooh, hopefully I don't drop you. All right. And I'm just gonna, that's it. That's all I want to do, right? Actually, I'm going to do just one more pull because there are a couple pieces in there that I want a little bit finer. All right. Oops, I didn't line it up. All right. Okay. That's the problem. I didn't have it lined up all right. All right, and so, all right, perfect. So see, these are a little bit more chunky, right? Since I already have some fine in there, so I'm gonna dump that right into my bowl. And then I'm gonna put onion in there. So you can put any color pepper, whatever your preference is. The cool thing about this recipe is it's super flexible. If you have stewed tomatoes, use stewed tomatoes in it. If you don't, today I have diced tomatoes. So instead of running to the store, just use what you got, right? And so we do need an onion. And now one of the secrets to cutting an onion is to leave this little hairy part at the top, leave that intact as long as you can, because that holds all the juices that make you cry. And I am crazy, like I have such a huge response to onions. So I have to be really careful to try and minimize that exposure. So I usually kind of cut it like in a triangular sort of, right? And that just, I almost threw that in the wrong pot. That just kind of keeps that from happening and just keeps me from tearing up here on camera with you guys. All right. All right, let's see here. I can see that's out of alignment there. All right. Awesome. So we're gonna get our onion in there, and then we're just gonna start throwing stuff into the pot. I mean, it's really truly that easy. All right, so we have our onion. I have that a little bit of a rougher chop there. Just like I said, I already have some fine stuff in there. And then also, now I sometimes have people in my house that some of them like this and some of them like that, right? And so if I'm putting something into a recipe like onions or chicken for a long time, my son didn't like chicken. And so what I would do is I was actually take my chicken out of the pressure cooker and I would shred it in here because he couldn't pick it out, right? And so he'd have to eat it. Now he's more open. Oh, let me put this on this. This has a grippers on the bottom, but since I had it on my cutting board, it wasn't working. All right. But now that he's more open to the chicken, I can leave it more chunked up for him. But for a long time, they didn't like the look of onions. However, they love the flavor of it because they didn't complain about my cooking, right? And I like do everything with onions and like literally everything. All right, so I'm gonna turn the heat back on this. I'm just gonna dump these right in there, super duper easy. I know it's a lot. This is such a great recipe and it's so good to freeze. And so I'm going to probably freeze half of this. So after Lent is over, we can indulge ourselves again, right? And so now it also is low carb. So if for those of you that are low carb people, this is a great recipe for you to use. You just won't make it like it's all about the side. So if you're low carb, don't make rice. You can actually, so sometimes, because I like to mess with my leftovers a little bit, sometimes with my leftovers, I will cut this even more fine. Like I'll kind of pull the meat out and put it on the cutting board and cut it. And then so it's nice and bite-sized. And I will roll it up in a lettuce wrap, right? So I have my own little lettuce wraps using the jambalaya, and it's so tasty and so unbelievably good. You could also put it onto a salad, right? So many different ways that you can kind of reconstruct this meal. All right. And so like I said, today I have canned tomatoes, right? And I have diced because normally I put stewed tomatoes in there. I just didn't have any. And so I'm using diced, no big deal, right? And you could also use whole tomatoes. We have canned whole tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this can for you. This is our can opener. And the thing that is so great about this can opener is it's not going to leave a sharp edge on the can or on the top. And so if you have little people that help you with your recycle bin, right? And I have usually a pile of recycles sitting over by the garbage ready for somebody to take outside for me, right? It won't, you don't have to worry about them cutting themselves. And so you just clip it on there. So you take this and you see these two circles, you just want to put the edge of the can right through those two circles, and then you turn it around. Super easy on your wrist. So for those of you who have arthritic hands, perfect. This is perfect for you. All right. And then it has this little beak on the top. Let's see here. See that little edge, right? I'm just going to hook that right onto the edge of the can and then close the handles again and just peel it right back, right? Super duper easy. So it's not sharp here and it's not sharp on the can, right? So I don't have to worry about any of that. And so what I'm going to do is oh my goodness. So the seasoning is already like coming off because of putting the onions and peppers in there. The water's kind of getting to it. And so it's pulling that char right off of the bottom, which is just going to add another level of flavor. It's so tasty. This is, like I said, this is hands down one of our favorite recipes. I usually like to cook it with a side of corn and I didn't have corn, but I had 1,000 bags of peas, but it doesn't really go with peas. So I'm going to leave the peas in the freezer. So I'm not sure why I keep buying peas. Apparently, I think I need them. So, but I don't. So normally I just steam up some corn, and I'll just take the frozen corn and I will put it right into one of our vent and serve containers and put it right into the microwave. And you can add some butter if you like butter, right? Or just leave it like it is. But it steams it up so quick and easy. And I don't really trust, I know that they have those steamer bags. I don't really trust the steamer bags. I don't know what's in that plastic, but I know what's in ours. And so I trust that in the microwave with my food. And so, so I will just put things right into our vent and serve, which I should have had one out for you to see. So this here is our vent and serve product, right? And so I'll put it right in there. It's a material that's similar to the material of your eyeglasses, right? And so it's not actually a plastic. And so it never stains, it never pits. This is the only product in our line that doesn't stain or pit. It has stay cool handles. So it's perfect for steaming up your veggies, your sides, all that good stuff. So, all right, so I got this kind of going. All I'm gonna do is dump in my sausage, and now I'm going to dump in my chicken. It's actually more chicken than I thought it was going to be. My family, a lot of times we end up having more chicken left over because everybody wants a sausage. So I try to make it sausage heavy because that's what they like, right? All my people. And then I'm going to put in 4 cans of the tomatoes. Now I may end up putting in another can. Once I kind of get it in there and I start stirring it up, I might think, oh, you know what? I think I want more tomatoes in this. I want more juice. But what's going to happen is in the beginning, and I'll show it to you. In the beginning, it's going to look super chunky and it doesn't look like it has any juices in it at all. But as it simmers, some of the water is going to come out of the vegetables, and also out of the tomatoes, even more water will come out of those. So it will get kind of soupy consistency. So right now, this is what it looks like. And then it's going to start simmering, and I'm just going to add some Cajun seasoning. And I don't really measure this. I just kind of chunk it right in there. It's so tasty. My husband loves this seasoning on rice, all kinds of good stuff, right? And so I love our spice shakers because they keep everything nice and clean and tidy in my cupboards. And they keep my seasoning so fresh. The last time, like I just had to replace the seasoning. And before that, I think I had the seasoning for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, and it still was just as delicious as when I got it. So all I'm going to do is let this simmer for a bit, and then it's done. So we'll have that recipe up for you all, and I hope you have an awesome Fat Tuesday and amazing Lent season.